Alright, and we are back. Hopefully things are sorted out. Just gonna open Parsec up, stuff like that. And we'll get back into the tournament. So I'll be fighting Oak next because Odie has forfeited. So that's a lot of our matches actually done. The tournament will end pretty soon, regardless of outcome. Okay, there's my computer. I just needed to wait for that. Oak already connecting. Good to see. And I think what we'll do is we'll do what I usually do, like the normal settings, and we'll at least test them out. I'm not gonna do the match yet. We'll make sure it's all working, and if it's not working, I'll just do default settings, 60 FPS, and if that doesn't work, I don't know. We'll switch hosts or something, like Oak was suggesting. Let me deal with the names as well, so I'll be on the left, Oak will be on the right. So I'll like do a practice round of CPU or something. I don't want to jump right into it. No, it should be graphical settings. I think we'll have to restart the game again, but that's okay. It's usually how it goes. Because this always worked before, so it shouldn't be a problem, but that remains to be seen. And I'll tell you what, Oak, if we run into some problems, we'll go onto your host. If even the default settings doesn't work. So I don't know, I'll fight CPU. Don't really care about the level or anything. We'll just see if there's any slow-mo or not. And I won't fight it for long. Like, I'll go for a few flags and if my controller will even work. There we are. I don't know. Doesn't really much matter. We'll go 2 skulls, whatever. Void map. And I'll keep an eye on the FPS counter. Looks better so far. Okay, slow-mo on kill is fine. That's a known bug. I'm not seeing anything particularly strange with the FPS. We'll go one more flag, and if there's no problems, we'll go straight into our match. Okay, I didn't see anything massive. Let's give it a go. If Oak is cool with that. And I think I'll just use Barabash. I won't reinvent the wheel. Maybe Alexander's a good pick too. It's tough to say with Oak. Oak is just such a good player. I find it depends on the day what saber is best. So for this round, I just gotta go with someone solid. Anyway, I'll be quiet for most of this probably. Okay, so that's still the slow-mo on kill, but, I don't mind that as much. GG, solid effort, Oak, and that felt way, way better. So, let me know how it felt on your end, though, because I don't really know. But for me, anyway, the slow-mo was pretty much gone. It's regardless of the uh, re regardless of the slow-mo on death, which I don't really care about. Tau versus Pekla now. Did better if the slow-mo. Yeah, you're just better at the bullet time stuff. You're so precise. If I can ping Tau properly. You guys are up now. We're gonna run through this pretty quickly, I think. And Pekla stay in because the way this worked here, Odie ended up just being forfeiting the tournament, so you'll be fighting me very soon. So be sure to stick around for your second last fight, if you can believe it. It's amazing, even with that technical problem, we're still going through it pretty quickly, but at the same time, I don't think I'll end the tournament. I don't think it'll count for anything. But you guys can feel free to leave your thoughts below. I don't think it's really fair. Okay, Pekla's here. Tau is here. Tau will take the left side. Let's hope we can have some fun games now, because that was a fun one for sure. It felt much more fast-paced and all the rest of it. Pekla should have keyboard. We should be good to go. Let's go. I wonder who we'll see. We see a Yendrick against Jan. I think Tao really likes Jan on other hosts. Because Jan's a pretty solid character. He's got a lot of offensive tools. He's got reach as well compared to even Barbash, for example. Just an all-around solid character. I think that's why Tao likes playing him instead of Zera, who obviously can struggle with how sluggish he is. Despite maining Zera and preferring long swords, all things being equal. Isabella as well, he can play pretty well. There's a kill for Pekla. Pekla not intending to make it easy, and that is not a move we see often there, that low chop retreat from Pekla. Some cancels from Pekla, hitting with the half, trying to go for a hook, actually, I think was the intention, but it didn't quite work. That's another thing that was updated with Yendrick, not just the hit detection, but the hooking. But whether the hooking is effective now or if it's still kind of gimmicky is very difficult to say. We need a lot more testing, I think. Pekla going for another hook, which was a decent idea, but that corkscrew just came around and prevented that from happening. If Tau was thrusting more straight, maybe it would have worked, but again, tough to say. I don't know how effective it is. I haven't messed with it enough to know anything. To be honest, I haven't played a lot of Hellish Quart lately. I've been playing mostly Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I don't know what happened there. Maybe Tau was having some lag. Maybe he was stunned. It could have been some glitch with the hooking of the axe. I'm not sure. But Tau is like frozen in place. Little unfortunate. It didn't quite look right. Peklo deliberately trying to test the hooking, which I like to see. It's especially in a game like this, I think it's very difficult to try and do. In something like VR or even like a first person game, I think it's a little bit easier to visualize and to use. Good attempt at wrapping around there from Tau, but Pekala just powers through that attack. That was beautifully done. Big chop, but gets stabbed on the way in. Some cancels from Pekla, very risky with that low stamina from that hit. But that's Pekla for you. He likes taking those types of risks, and sometimes it pays off. It catches the opponent off guard. Pekla just goes right in, but he mostly hit for the half. Tau is able to take that. 7-5, really dynamic fight from both of them, I would say. Saw a bit of the new mechanics in action. I'm not so sure they were very beneficial, but again, I haven't played them, so I can't really judge. It just didn't seem to play much of a role here. That's the best I can say. Pekla will be fighting me next. And if you're up for it, Pekla, we could do a Yendrick mirror, but I don't know what you want to do, so don't feel obligated to do so. That's just what I want to do. I'm happy to use anybody. Laswell. Let's do a Laswell mirror. We like Laswell mirrors. Let's do that. Yeah, we're here to have fun at this point. Let's see what happens. I didn't mean to dash. Nicely done. Yeah, this is what it should do, the slow-mo. At least assuming it's on. It shouldn't be on, but anyway. Nice, Pekala. Alright. At least I got some points there. I was worried I would lose like 7-2 or something stupid. That would not have been good. Nicely done, though, Pekala. Went for the Vineyard, but Pekala is going for a straight thrust, so that wasn't a good idea. Still, 7-4, not the most ideal score for me. I'm curious what it'll look like at the end. Oak versus Roderick now. And that's actually it for my fights because Odie left. So, GG's to all you. And let's finish this thing up. And Tao mentioned the game sounds disappeared. That should be easy to fix. Oh, I see why. Yeah, I can fix that. One moment, guys. Let me just fix that quickly. Should just be because it comes through the speaker, and sometimes the speaker turns off randomly. It's a good speaker, but sometimes that happens, so I think that's all it was. And let me just make sure it's actually using the speaker. There it is. Yeah, it was just set to default because the speaker was off. Alright, and let me double check. Oak on the left, Roderick on the right. Excited to see a Saber match. These two guys are Saber masters for sure. Like myself, we're all here to represent the Sabres. And Tao mentioned a funny one too. The first combo cut was blocked with the tired swing. That was kind of funny. And Tao is in, so not Tao. Laszlo is indeed a Chad. Maybe Tao is a Chad too, though. I don't want to take that away from him. Amazing member of the community right there. Okay, Oak with Laszlo again. Roderick going with Gideon, which is a classic pick. So far, the fight looking really clean. There's a kill from Roderick. And then there's the slow-mo really showing us the weird double there as Roderick manages to barely get it as Gideon just tosses the sword into his opponent. But again, it's just an animation thing, it's not a huge deal. The timing made sense, it's just the animation didn't. Good kill from Roderick, securing another one. While they're both really good Saber players, you could say Oak has just been on fire lately, so Roderick is a little bit of an underdog in that sense. But on any given day, Roderick can totally win this. He's also a solid Saber. Beautiful cut to the wrist there. If Gideon receives some fancier clothing, he'll be a true Chad. Bold statement. There's a slash, leaving a massive wound in Laszlo's back. Something straight out of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Yeah, there's some really cool clothing in there. Some of it even looks a little bit Hellish Quart style, I noticed. And I'm not an expert on, like, Cuman clothing or Hungarian clothing, but it kind of makes sense because I've seen images of, like, the earliest Hussars, like, and they kind of look like Hellish Quart characters a little bit. But they have that medieval aesthetic to them as well. They're not 17th century. So it makes sense. From what I know. And they're just adopting the saber and all the rest of it too, so. Roderick just on fire this fight. Oak struggling to win points here. There's a thrust. Roderick doesn't land it, and Oak hesitates. I think Oak thought that cut to the head, or at least aimed at the head. I think it hit the arm instead. Was gonna kill. But it didn't. A rare blunder from Oak, keeping Roderick at a very solid lead. It could have also been some kind of stun bug too, but I don't know. Usually Oak kills you instantly, so Roderick really got lucky there. Just like that, Oak just usually takes your hand right off. Big cut from Roderick immediately, but Oak is ready to block it. This would be very bad for Oak if he lost here. Gotta at least get some points, and Oak is determined. He's gonna fight as clean as he can. If anyone can make this comeback, it's Oak. Beautiful retreat. Why? Slow-mo, too, showing us the hand coming right off. Big cuts there from Roderick, and immediately loses his hand again. Oak just becoming the hand collector here. And now the lead isn't that significant, and Roderick went for some kind of push, and Oak immediately did this sidestep false edge cut, cutting the outstretched hand, and this is an amazing comeback here from Oak. It looked like Roderick just had this in the bag, but Oak has adjusted to his opponent very well. It took until like literally the last flag to do it, but sometimes that's what happens, I find. It's like somehow the fact, wow, that was a very, very close one there. Roderick managing to get that double, but sometimes it happens that way. Like you realize, oh shit, I'm gonna lose, and then it's like you just gotta lock in. That's what happens with me, certainly, when I get comebacks like that. Oak is probably feeling something similar here, and definitely hoping to win this now. Before it was probably mostly about earning points. Maybe he was determined to win the whole time, but certainly wanted to at least get points. But now winning is a very real possibility, and Roderick knows that too. He knows he can choke this here, so he's trying to stay in the game. Lunging there, forced in the corner there. Very good footsies from Oak. Roderick a little desperate, I think, throwing a bunch of swings, and that is where Oak was catching him before, I think. So he's got to be very careful. But he is keeping Oak at bay. He goes for the chop and lands it there. Oak thought he had a moment there to move in, but he didn't. Roderick managing to hang on and win that, despite that incredible comeback from Oak. That is 7-6 for Roderick. Well done to both of you. That was an amazing fight right there. And Roderick, don't leave. You're still in, because you will be fighting Tao next, because again, Odie left. So let's get Tao into here. I'm glad we had some really close ones despite the technical problems before. Yeah, incredibly close fight right there. That's what Hellish Quart is supposed to look like right there. Okay, and then Oak and Pekla will fight right after this. And Roderick, you'll be on the left. So I'll just do that. Roderick had a nice chance there to warm up against Oak. Now he's going to face Tao, who is an equally formidable opponent, I would say. Another saber fight. We love to see saber fights. I don't think we've really seen longsword this time, have we? It's really just been saber. We saw Yendrick actually, though. We did see some axe shenanigans. Not entirely just Saber. Corkscrew attempt. Doesn't land, but there's a nice retreat Y. Lunge there, but grab. Beautiful by Tao. Punch there. Corkscrew. I don't think Tao intended to get so close. But these things happen. Nice false edge cut from Roderick, hitting the arm. Oh, and then Tao scalps him. Nicely done. That down forward Y is actually a very lethal move, and it reaches out so far. Roderick probably thought he was in a safe distance, but he wasn't quite. There's a corkscrew attempt. Tao trying to harass him from long range, which I think is the game plan with Yon in this matchup. And then again steps in and does that down forward Y, scalping Roderick, cutting that skull. Stab attempt to test Roderick a little bit. Not overcommitting. Roderick just moves in, but Tao is ready. Retreat Y from Tao. They both sniped each other. Tao moves in with a push after blocking that cut, but isn't able to follow it up. Very intense flag, actually. Cut from Tao doesn't land, and that stab doesn't land either. Roderick able to get a kill. Retreat Y from Tao, sniping the arm. Good first hit there, but not quite enough to kill. Displacing the thrust there if that retreat Y. Corkscrew, but that is also displaced. Push attempt from Tao. I'm amazed that cut didn't land. But there goes the grab. Stab attempt from Tao. Again, testing his opponent. Moves away when Roderick goes in for a big cut. Stab again. Tao just trying to harass him from long range the best he can. Doesn't manage to complete the kill, though, despite those cuts being thrown. Roderick's hit was much more decisive. Big cut from Roderick. Roderick trying to move in, finish the fight. That handguard barely saving his hand, though, and he's able to strike Tao. That was extremely close, but Tao's hit just didn't quite hit the hand. And now it's even. There's the hand off. Roderick just on fire again. And Tao has his work cut out for him. It's not that big of a lead, but it is a lead. And Tao is too close, bashing his opponent with the guard there. And Roderick going with a much more close range, drawing slash, taking Tao out. But that was a very close fight for sure. Okay, now we've got Oak against Pekla. Let's finish this tournament up. And that will finish the tournament up. Pekla using Calc this time, breaking up the trend a little bit of axes and sabers. We're going to see a weapon that's balanced for both cutting and thrusting. Thrust attempt doesn't land. They're both trying to feel each other out. This final fight of the tournament. Oak is able to get past the point, and then he gets a retreat Y in there as Pekla does a long guard. I think he was trying to throw a cut or a thrust after. Laszlo proving much faster up close, especially in Oak's hands. There's a stab from Pekla, forcing a double. Thrust attempt, lunging there. Again, trying to feel each other out. Oak looking for a chance to close in, because he knows that Pekla, has the longest weapon out of the two of them, so he can't hang out at long range forever. Good blade work by both of them. Neither fighter sustaining a hit. As I say that, though, Pekla throwing a cut, but Oak is way faster, securing a kill. So far, Laszlo's speed proving to be a decisive factor here, but that stab to the arm by Pekla, brutal. Shutting Oak down immediately. Big cut from Pekla, and that's all the time that Oak needs to throw a stab. He's very good at punishing those sorts of little mistakes that you don't really think much of. The point was offline, and Oak just needed that little opening to get a stab in of his own. Both again feeling each other out. That quick slash there from Oak, the retreat cut landing on the arm. And Oak is able to beat the blade with that combo and then go in for a second cut. Again, securing the kill. Big cut from Pekla, canceled into a thrust though. Beautifully done. As Oak thought he again had an opportunity to close in, but that wasn't quite the case. Calc definitely a brave pick in Pekla's part. It's not that he can't play Calc. Pekla can play just about anybody, to be honest, which is quite amazing at the competitive level. But I think Calc tends to be rated lower than Laszlo on the character tier list, so most people might favor Laszlo here. But Pekla using Calc very well there. That retreat A managing to dip under the guard as Oak, I think, tried to move in to launch an offensive of his own. Then a cut to the hand there as I think Oak tried to do long guard, at least momentarily, but that just presented his hand. Pekla evening the score up quite well, just needs one more flag to make it dead even. But there's a lunge from Oak getting past the guard. Good pressure from Oak. And now Pekla's on the defensive. And not only is he on the defensive, but he's tired. Way too slow to respond because he is tired. And Oak is able to get a kill. Oak's looking for one more to secure this win. A lunge, and that is brutal because now Calc is tired. Oak backs away, though. He's trying to be patient. He wanted to bait out a swing, I think, instead of just moving in. He might have had a chance to go for the kill, but hindsight is 20/20. Pekla now throwing a cut out of measure, but manages to go in for that stab. If anyone knows how to calc the calc, it's Pekla, as Tao says, and I agree with that. Beautiful counter cut, stopping that lunge just in time by Pekla, but Pekla goes for a stab out of measure, and that presented just the opening that Oak needed to snipe that hand. So a 7-5 victory, a very intense match though. Make no mistake, that was definitely disputed. And that's the tournament. Let's see who won. I ended up winning, so I think we won't count it. It just seems a little bit unfair. There were a couple matches at the beginning where it felt like I had an unfair advantage. But with that said, I got to give a shout out to Roderick here. He was on fire during this whole tournament, I would say. Like even here where I beat him. And that was, I think, in large part because of the stupid slow-mo. But regardless, he got 5 points there, and that is commendable, I think. And points-wise, he's equal with me. It's just I have a win above him, so that's really what decided it, I think, and probably points difference as well as we see here. So we'll end the tournament there. Well done, Roderick. You're also a winner if you ask me. You did very well. Um, and I'll end it there. This won't count for anything. In fact, I think I ended the tourney. I'll probably undo that because that'll count towards a record or something. It won't count on the Discord, but hope you all had fun towards the end. There were some good fights, and I'll see you next time.